what's up you guys? This is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw, it's all about delivering an explosive pounding when we take a look at the Rethum mod, Vulcan Blitz. So last we left off with a bit of a disappointment in acid shells, mainly because it was attached to a weapon that was less than spectacular. However, now we have the chance to see this mechanic on a weapon of a different caliber, which interestingly enough has its own drawbacks. While Vulcan Blitz and the Jacket Tag make an amazing pairing, with the recent melee mod releases we are spoiled for choice, which basically means that we're going to need to make some tough decisions when it comes to how we choose to trade blows. Now, you can pick up Vulcan Blitz by defeating Kayla Dethame on Sedna, but only after you've accumulated enough points to unlock her court by participating in the Rethum, which is an arena-style mission that pits you against her executioners. And as for the Jacket Tag, you can pick it up in the Grenier Lab of your clan dojo for 15,000 credits once you've completed the appropriate research. Or you can pick it up in the market, pre-built along with the weapon slot and catalyst for 125 plat. Now, mechanically, when a Jacket Tag equipped with Vulcan Blitz kills an enemy, it causes them to explode, dealing 300 plus 60% of the dead enemy's max HP and blast damage in a 6-meter area of effect. Now, as with acid shells, the damage isn't affected by any other mods, isn't reduced if the enemy is afflicted with a viral status, and is radial, meaning that enemies further away from the epicenter are dealt less damage. Now, there is one last fact that you should be aware of that didn't really apply to acid shells. Since this is considered melee damage, it's granted the 4x stealth damage multiplier, meaning that frames with Invis, like Ash and Loki, and frames that can blind like Inaros, Mirage, and Excalibur will be even more effective with this mod equipped. Now, I'm all about working the stealth and blind mechanics, so I'm completely in love with Vulcan Blitz. However, I do have to note one issue with the mod. Due to the fact that it only works within a 6-meter range, and its damage is radial, its potency drops off fairly quickly, unless of course you're working the stealth multiplier angle. In addition, its damage type is Blast, which isn't necessarily the worst, but isn't necessarily the best either, as it only gains bonuses against Fossilized Infested, but suffers resistances against Ferrite Armor. Basically, while it's a fantastic mod when used in the right circumstances, for general use it may not be the best choice. Which brings us to my personal issue with the mod. See, the thing is, the Jacket Tag is absolutely killer with the Blood Rush and Body Count combo, which to be honest is a bit of a tight build in and of itself. So making room for Vulcan Blitz does mean you're going to be forced into giving something else up. Now, when used with Inaros, it's a bit of a no-brainer to toss my Life Strike for Vulcan. However, for other frames that do need to have access to healing, you may be forced into giving up something like Prime Reach or sacrificing Organ Shatter, both of which are amazing mods in their own right. So while I do love Vulcan Blitz, I do find myself limiting it to warframes who can take advantage of the stealth multiplier, as I feel like sacrificing a mod slot for it without the bonus just doesn't put up enough damage to make it worth it. But I guess having too many good mods isn't necessarily a bad issue to have. Now, speaking of a plethora of good things, can we talk? So Organ Shatter, Life Strike, Prime Breach, Vulcan Blitz, the Jacket Tag just has so many options for customization that it's kind of ridiculous. It's like when you first discovered Pornhub. What do I do? Where do I start? And why is everything so fucking good? But once that honeymoon period is over, then you realize I only have time to get off once, so I need to commit. And that's when you start weighing your options. Are you looking for a quick pounding? Maybe you're on a mission for something monstrous enough to take down a group. Or hell, just searching for one violent explosion to get you where you want to be. There are very few weapons in game that can be tweaked to this level and still retain its effectiveness. I mean, let's be real here. The Cyber had one quick moment to shine in endgame content, then Vulcan Blitz came along and the Jacket Tag fucking Beyonce'd that shit. Get back in line, Kelly, I'm dropping another visual album. Lemonade references aside, let's get back to the Quick Draw. So all in all, Vulcan Blitz is pretty fucking solid when used with frames that can take advantage of the stealth multiplier, and even more effective when working with a frame that can open enemies up to melee finishers. Aside from that, the bonus damage and limited range does feel a bit marginal when in comparison to other mods that can be slotted in its place. Basically, a definite yes with all the stealth stuff, and maybe if you're in the mood it's arguably equipable, if not. This is truly one of the few mods that you can slot in to fit your playstyle without too much guilt over its damage, as it's guaranteed to scale. Which is rare, because usually exploding all over a group does tend to leave you feeling a little bit guilty. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. If you haven't caught it, be sure to check out the previous episode on Vulcan's counterpart, Acid Shells, as well as April's edition of This Month in Warframe. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more Beyonce and Pornhub here at A Gay Guy Plays.
Oh. No.
Right in the Jord ass, he's getting shot.
If you won't give me does a lotto damage, I'm not giving you shoot him in the Jord ass.
What are you talking about? It's perfect. I'm shooting him right in the Jord ass.
No. That's a terrible pun. I'm not giving that to you.
Why? I'm not asking for your... Ah! His butt is coming at me.
No,